Okay, everyone listen. In previous class you learned about how the air moves into the structural and functional unit of the lungs. Those are alveoli. So here we have to know how the gaseous exchange takes place between the alveoli and the blood. Before that, we have to know the structure of the alveoli. See, this is the cluster of the alveoli. They are numerous in number. That is to increase the space in the lungs. And the wall of the alveoli made of a single layer of cells, and those cells are epithelial cells. Epithelial cells. That single layer enables the process of gaseous exchange through diffusion process. Diffusion. When you see the blood capillary which surround the alveoli, the blood capillary walls are also made of a single layer of epithelial cells. It enables the process of gaseous exchange between alveoli and blood through the diffusion process. Okay, let us see how this process goes on. So the oxygen finally enters the alveoli. Here, the blood capillaries bring the blood which is rich in carbon dioxide. They are rich in carbon dioxide. Why? Because in respiration process, carbon dioxide is produced. From the tissues, the blood collect the carbon dioxide and bring to the lungs, but not directly through the heart. So from tissue to heart, from heart to lungs. So the blood with the carbon dioxide, is in a dark red in color. Dark red. So its concentration is, the carbon dioxide concentration is more in the blood. At the same time, CO2 concentration is less in the alveoli. So obviously, the carbon dioxide move from high concentration to low concentration. That means it enters the alveoli. At the same time, oxygen also. The oxygen concentration is more in the alveoli, it less in the blood. That's why oxygen move from high concentration to low concentration through diffusion process. Now blood carry that oxygen to the tissues through the heart. Understand? So here the blood with oxygen is in a bright red in color. Bright red. So the bright red color blood is carried to the heart, and heart pump that blood to all the tissues. So it's a cyclical process. It's a cyclical process. Okay, due to this respiration process, there is a change in the composition of air. The air we breathe in has various amount of gases. For example, let us see oxygen. What is the percentage of oxygen in the air normally? 21%. So the inhaled air consists 21% of oxygen. When you see the exhaled air, 16%. So what happened here? Is it reduced or not? In exhaled air, 5% oxygen level decreased. What is the reason? What happened to that 5%? Can you guess? That used in the respiration process. Respiration means combustion of glucose in presence of oxygen to derive the energy. So that means the cells use the oxygen to produce energy. That's why oxygen level decreased. What about carbon dioxide? The normal level of carbon dioxide in the inhaled air is 0.03%. What is in the exhaled air? 4.4%. So when compared to inhaled air, 4.1% carbon dioxide level increased. What is the reason? Can you guess? Carbon dioxide is the byproduct during respiration. In the cells, carbon dioxide is produced in respiration. That's why the exhaled air consists more amount of carbon dioxide. Next, nitrogen also present, usually 78%, but in exhaled air also 78%. Why? Because our body do not use the nitrogen in respiration process. So like this, during the gases exchange, this kind of change in the composition of various substances we can observe. Okay, how these gases are transported to the tissues through the blood. No, oxygen enter the blood, but how it is transported? Is it transported in the molecular form, or is it combined with any substance? We have to discuss that one. Let us see the transportation method of gases. Okay, first of all, oxygen. Whenever the oxygen enters the blood, it combines with a protein which is present in the blood. What is that protein? Can you say? The pigment in blood? Hemoglobin, right? Hemoglobin. So oxygen combined with hemoglobin, Hb. Here you have to know one point about hemoglobin. It gives a red color to the blood. Not only that, it transports the gases also. The structure of hemoglobin protein related to the chlorophyll pigment in the plants. The difference is chlorophyll has a magnesium. In hemoglobin, iron is there. Iron. That is the difference. Next, the gases transport in the blood is depend on the combining capacity of the gases with the blood. Oxygen has more combining capacity with hemoglobin. Why? Because in hemoglobin, hemo means iron. The oxygen molecules can combine with iron and form the oxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin. Hb what means oxyhemoglobin. So mostly oxygen is transported in the form of oxyhemoglobin. What about other gases? Carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide is transported from tissues to lungs, but not like oxygen. Carbon dioxide cannot combine with hemoglobin. Mostly transported in the form of bicarbonates. Bicarbonate. And some amount is dissolved in plasma of the blood. Plasma is the fluid part of the blood. So some part dissolved in plasma. And a few amount of carbon dioxide combined with hemoglobin and form the carboxyhemoglobin. So mostly carbon dioxide transported in the form of bicarbonates, oxygen transported in the form of oxyhemoglobin. This is the transportation of gases. Now let us see how the exchange of gases takes place between the blood and cells or tissue. In the previous topic, we discussed gases exchange between blood and alveoli. Now between the blood and tissue. In the tissues, respiration takes place. In respiration, oxygen gas is used. So inside the cells, the oxygen level decrease. So concentration decrease. So at the same time, the blood has more oxygen concentration because it has the oxyhemoglobin. So whenever there is a decrease in the oxygen levels, the oxyhemoglobin divide again into oxygen and hemoglobin. Now that oxygen enter into the tissues through the diffusion process. At the same time, carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide produced in the tissues has more concentration. That's why it enters to the blood from high to low concentration. The carbon dioxide carried to the lungs through heart in the form of bicarbonates, plasma, through the plasma and in the form of carboxyhemoglobin. So this is about gases exchange between the tissues and the cells. So here the carbon dioxide is transported to the lungs from organs in the form of bicarbonates, to the plasma and the carboxyhemoglobin, and oxygen is supplied to the organs through heart in the form of oxyhemoglobin. Okay, now let us see the last step in the respiration process. When the oxygen is enter the cells, now the final step takes place in the respiration. That is cellular respiration. Cellular respiration. So in the cellular respiration process, the energy stored in the glucose break down and energy is released. But for this oxygen is required, but sometimes oxygen do not require. This process is different in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes means what? What is prokaryote? They don't have the organized nucleus like bacteria. Okay. So in the prokaryotes, the cellular respiration takes place in the cytoplasm of the cell. Only cytoplasm, entire process. Moreover, they do not use the oxygen. So that respiration without oxygen is called anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. Next, eukaryotes. In eukaryotes, oxygen is used to break down the glucose to release energy. That's why that type of respiration is called aerobic respiration. Aerobic. In eukaryotes, inside the cells, in two places, this cellular respiration takes place. One is cytoplasm, and another one is, what is it? Mitochondria. Mitochondria. So in eukaryotes, the respiration is called aerobic respiration. It happens in two stages. One is in cytoplasm, second one mitochondria. So first let us discuss about aerobic respiration. So during the aerobic respiration, first of all, glucose enters the cell. Glucose enters the cell. In the cytoplasm, the first stage begins. What happens means the glucose break down into pyruvate molecules. How many carbons are there in glucose? C6H12O6 means 6 carbons. So now it is divided into pyruvate molecules. Each one has 3 carbons. That means it divided into 2 pyruvate molecules. And this process of glucose, process of breakdown of glucose into pyruvate is called as glycolysis. Glycolysis process. it happens in the cytoplasm. Now the pyruvate molecule move to the mitochondria. Understand? The pyruvate move to the mitochondria. The next process happens inside the mitochondria. In the mitochondria, the pyruvate undergo the process called oxidation. Oxidation process. So you have the structure of mitochondria. There are two membranes around them, and there are folds called cristae. The inner membrane folds into finger-like structures called cristae. On the cristae walls, this oxidation of pyruvate takes place. That means it combines with the oxygen and energy releases. At the end of the cellular respiration, from one glucose molecule, 7,200 calories of energy is released. But it not happens in a single step. To release energy from glucose, there are several reactions are there. At each reaction or step, a few amount of energy release. For example, in the first step, glycolysis, 2 molecules of ATP release. What is ATP? I said energy release from glucose that store in a special molecule. That is the ATP. In each step, a few molecules of ATP is produced, and finally 32 ATP molecules are formed. 32. ATP means adenosine triphosphate. That means it has 3 phosphate molecules. In the third phosphate, the energy is stored. So since the mitochondria is producing energy and storing energy, it's storing energy in ATP. That's why mitochondria is known as, say, powerhouse of cell. So ATP is storing the energy. That's why it is energy currency of the cell. Energy currency. So whenever you need energy, the ATP breakdown and energy release. ATP breakdown into ADP plus phosphate. This the energy stored in phosphate we use. Again, phosphate combined with ADP and form the ATP. That is oxidative phosphorylation process. So this is what happens in the aerobic respiration in eukaryotes. So along with energy, the carbon dioxide and water also form. Understand? When one glucose molecule oxidizes with oxygen, energy releases 32 ATP energy release, and along with that carbon dioxide and water also release. 6 molecules from one glucose, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 32 ATP molecules, and water also release. So carbon dioxide is harmful substance. That's why we exhale through the exhalation process. It removed into the air, and water in the form of sweat. It removed. Some amount is used in the biological process. Next, what about the respiration in prokaryotes? Which type of respiration occurs in prokaryote? They don't use oxygen. That means that is anaerobic respiration. Here also the glucose break down into pyruvate. That means glycolysis is common in both the aerobic and anaerobic. But afterwards, the oxygen is not available. They do not use oxygen. So pyruvate produce various products in various organisms. For example, in bacteria, the pyruvate produces lactic acid. Lactic acid and some amount of energy release in bacteria. In our muscles also, this anaerobic respiration takes place. When do means whenever you are doing a very vigorous exercise, aerobic respiration do not occur because that cannot supply the energy. It's very slow. So instant energy is used by muscles by oxidizing by converting the glucose into lactic acid. That's why you feel some pains. In some of the organisms, ethanol is produced. Ethanol, carbon dioxide, and energy is produced. Example, yeast. Do you know about yeast? Used in bakeries to produce bread. So the yeast convert the glucose to ethanol, and the bacteria convert into lactic acid. And this process of anaerobic respiration in the bacteria, yeast, and other prokaryotes is called fermentation process. Fermentation. At your home you prepare curd. That is also a process of fermentation. So there is a difference to the aerobic and anaerobic. In aerobic, respiration takes place in the cytoplasm and mitochondria. Anaerobic occur in only cytoplasm. In aerobic respiration, 32 ATP release. In anaerobic, only 2 ATP energy is released. And aerobic respiration occur in all eukaryotes, and anaerobic respiration takes place in the prokaryotes and in muscles of mammals. These are differences you can be observed. In further classes, you learn about how the respiration goes on in plants. Okay?